So the Sony XB100 is a decent portable and affordable Bluetooth speaker that you can either use at home or take it on the go with you. But like I mentioned in the full review, two Sony XB100s playing together actually sounds fairly impressive. So today we're going to see what two Sony XB100s playing in stereo mode sounds like when compared to the XE300 and the Sony XG300. Now, price-wise, two Sony XB100s are going to run you $120, whereas the XE300 has a retail price of $150, but it likes to go on sale for $100 on a regular basis, and the Sony XG300 has a retail price of $350, but it likes to regularly go on sale these days for $200, and at $200, you really can't be mad at the XG300. Nonetheless, if you want to pick either of these two speakers up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, pick up a Big Head approved hat, linked down below. We've got trucker hats and snapbacks. By buying a hat, you help the unbiased and unsponsored videos coming, and it also helps us cover more products and produce more versus videos. Thank you to everyone who's already bought a hat, and look out for more designs coming soon. And also, please remember to hit that like button and let's get subscribed. Now, when it comes to speaker setups, the XB100 has a single upward firing driver and a single downward passive radiator, whereas the XE300 has dual frontward firing drivers and dual passive radiators that shoot out the sides. And then there's the larger XG300, which has dual frontward firing woofers, dual frontward firing tweeters, and dual passive radiators that shoot out the sides. But now we're going to jump into the sound test. Now, the XB100s are playing at 75% volume, whereas both the XE300 and XG300 are playing at their max volumes. Now, this doesn't automatically mean that the XB100s are louder than both the XE300 and XG300. This is actually a matter of the sound signature of the XB100, since they put a much larger emphasis on the highs, and both the XE300 and XG300 have a much warmer sound signature to them. In order to get this sound test to work, I had to record them with the XB100s playing at 75% volume and these other two speakers playing at 93% volume, or else this sound test just wouldn't work.
Tell me if you're hurt and I'll be there. Carry you away to the promised land. Feel your heartbeat and don't be scared, 'cause I'll be there. Yes, I'll be there. You and I, we can fly anywhere you wanna go. Find a place we can hide, we can make it on our own. All alone, all the right, to the stars just follow. You and I, side by side, dancing in your halo. Like a fever taking over, it's burning. You're so stuck in your head, think I'm leaving. In your mind I know that you're hurting, that I'll be there, yes I'll be there. You and I, we can fly anywhere you wanna go. Find a place we can hide, we can make it on our own. Go along for the ride, till the stars just follow. You and I, side by side, dancing in your halo. Fly
So like I mentioned earlier, the XB100 has a much brighter sound signature than these other two speakers. So with the XB100, this speaker does sound like it's louder, but it also sounds tinnier. And these two XB100s just don't have as much bass as these other two speakers. But personally, I do feel that two XB100s sound better than one XE300 because the XE300 just has such a warm sound signature to it and it can sound a little muffled at times. Whereas with the XB100s, they just sound louder and it's much easier to actually hear vocals on this speaker. However, two XB100s just sound flat when compared to these other much more bass-heavy speakers. But if we were to compare two XB100s to an XG300, again, since the XB100 does have a brighter sound signature to it, it's much easier to actually hear the vocals on these two speakers than with the XG300. But with the XG300, you are going to have significantly more bass, your music is going to sound fuller, and you are going to have better instrument separation because you have that woofer and tweeter setup. Now, like I mentioned in the past, I'm not the biggest fan of these super warm sound signatures that you'll find on the XE300 and XG300, but the good thing is that you can go into Sony's app and you can customize the EQ on these speakers a little bit. Whereas with the XB100, even though these speakers do connect to Sony's app, you can't directly adjust their EQ. But finally, there's just the battery life performance on these speakers. Now, with the XB100, if you have a single speaker, then you're most likely going to want to use it at max volume on a regular basis. And if that's the case, then the XB100 is going to last you for about 5 hours of playback time. But if you have two XB100s playing in stereo mode, then having two XB100s playing at 80% volume sounds pretty decent. And at 80% volume, two XB100s are going to run you for about 10 hours of playback time. Not bad at all. Whereas with the XE300, if you were to use it at 80% volume on a regular basis, it's going to be good for about 7 hours of playback time. And then there's the XG300, which if you were to use it at 80% volume, it's going to last you for about 10 hours of playback time as well. So overall, I personally do feel that two XB100s is a better buy than one XE300. But when it comes to comparing two XB100s to an XG300, I do feel that the XG300 is the better buy here. The XG300 just sounds louder, it sounds fuller, it has more bass, it has that built-in light feature if you want it, and it also has a decent battery life. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.